G'day guys, back again. We've got, I think, a relatively simple video today. It's not really about the job, it's about educating customers, because what's happened is we have got a customer with a Hyundai i20 that had a service about a month ago, and over the weekend they have contacted us to say they are not happy because all of a sudden the car is stalling randomly. So obviously, the customer's trying to join the dots together and think that something we've done wrong, but not knowing how vehicles operate is obviously the issue. So unfortunately, without us seeing the car and confirming it, we can only say to the customer, look, let's just come and have a look and then we'll figure out what it is. So I'm going to go out there. I am assuming it's going to be a crank position sensor. So what I've done is, today's actually a public holiday. Nobody's meant to be working, but because the customer's upset, I just want to go out there and have a look. So I am just going to take a little code reader with me. I'm going to take the U-scope and I'm going to go out there, and I just quickly want to familiarize myself with the location of the crank position sensor, just in case I do need to get the scope on it and see what's going on to confirm. So auto data tells me it's around this area here, so under the airbox, off the side of the gearbox somewhere. So I'm hoping I'm not going to have to go too far digging, because I'm not in my work clothes, I'm not taking my tools, I'm just going in my personal car and just going to have a quick look. And then obviously if it's more involved than that, then I will organise to send out the mobile van tomorrow, most likely. So let's go out there and have a look and see what we can do. Alright guys, we've made it here. Scan tool in, like my little launch reader. It's actually really handy to take mobile with you when you just want to check a code or not. So as I suspected, P0335. So what I have done is I've connected the U-scope up. As you can see right there, we are monitoring the crank position sensor. We're just going to keep an eye on it. It's a 2-wire sensor. It's an inductive voltage sensor, so it creates its own voltage. So what we'll do is we'll keep an eye on that, and if it stalls, we'll recheck it, we'll crank it, we'll make sure it has a signal or it doesn't. If it doesn't have a signal, it's getting a crank position sensor. So here we are, connected up to the crank position sensor, and like I said, it's a 2-wire sensor, so if we get this to stall and we crank it and there's no signal, then we know it's going to need a crank position sensor. If the car dies and we crank it and we still get a signal, then we need to go to the PCM end and make sure we get a crank position sensor signal there. So let's wait and see what happens. There we go guys, we've caught the fault in action. Check out a U-scope, signal has now gone. Car is still running, but check out the revs. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to crank the car and see if we get our signal back. Firstly, let's start it up. Check that out, we've got no RPM. Our crank signal is doing nothing. So really, I don't know how this car's still running, to be honest, but that is what's going on. This needs a new crank sensor, 100%. So the issue is with this, obviously it's a little bit of customer education going on. Obviously we try to explain to the customer that there's so many different electronic components on a car and they all can fail at any time. Crank position sensor is working its head off, the whole time an engine's running, so it's constantly getting movement and it's prone to failing. So it's got nothing to do with the service. It could fail 5 minutes after a service, 2 months after a service, 6 months after a service. It's just a coincidence of the car. So there's not much we can do with that. It is what it is. Unfortunately, when we go to do a service, when everything's working normally, there's nothing we can do. But the good news is that when there's an issue with the car, we can come out and check it, find out what's going on, and then we know, we can prove it to the customer, explain to them why this is happening and why it wasn't happening when we did the service. And the more communication we have with the customer, the better for everybody. That is one thing that is lacking in today's modern society of automotive technicians. communication and transparency with the customer. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. We are going to go away. Unfortunately, in the moment, I'm in my shorts and my Nike shoes, so not really in work mode. But we're going to order a crank position sensor. We're going to come out and fit this. We're probably not going to record it. We're probably going to leave the video here just so you can understand exactly what I mean about customer communication and transparency and education. So, you know, hopefully the customers are aware of what's going on, and that we can prove to them that what we do on the service is service related, and what is not on the service is not service related. So hopefully that makes sense, guys, and you know, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it. Thank you.